racetrack, born in the cornfields and lower 40s of rural America. Two-track, the cornerstone of racing. The early barnstormers put it all on the line to satisfy their thirst for speed. Now, their great-grandchildren carry the torch with the same spirit and thirst. 700 horsepower rips the earth. For 1 hour, nothing else matters. It'll raise the hair on the back of your neck. Rush Hour on Dirt.
We are live at the D-shaped Dirt Demon, Brewerton Speedway, just outside Syracuse, New York, for the Bud Shootout 97. Hello once again, everybody. I'm Doug Logan. Welcome to Rush Hour. After 3 days up in Canada, the Skoal Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series is set to charge right back into central New York here in Brewerton. Joining me is Dirt Motorsports racing analyst Gary Montgomery. And Gary, tonight, the Skoal Bandit Racing Series and the Mighty Mod Squad get set to tackle the oldest short track in New York State.
That's right, Doug. This place was built in 1947, the oldest built for stock car racing, the track that's still operational. It's had a number of surfaces, a number of promoters over the years, but it has remained essentially intact throughout all those years since 1947. Since 1991, Harvey Fink took over, and the place has had a renewal, and it's really on a growth curve right now. Some great racing here.
Now, what is so unusual about this track?
Well, it's a very different shape. It's a D-shaped racetrack, and not unlike Daytona, a little more popular perhaps, or well-known, we should say. The curve here is on the back straightaway as opposed to the front straightaway. That's only part of it. The turns are very different. Turns 1 and 2, very, very tight. Turns 3 and 4, sweeping. It's a driver's racetrack. The lanes will change all night long, and it's not a horsepower track. It's a matter of who can figure out which lane is faster and get his car working best. Very, very interesting racetrack.
Now, even though it is very much a driver's track, sometimes the track wins. Take a look at the videotape from an earlier heat race this evening and watch the black M1 of Jimmy Horton right here.
Jimmy caught a rut going into turn 1, and he goes over 1 3/4 times and rolls back on his roof to make it to 1 1/2. Air Horton, he's been out of the ballpark at Talladega and other places. He was not injured. They're preparing a separate race car for the action here a little later on.
But that is the kind of excitement you can expect right here this evening on Rush Hour. Well, despite the many challenges this track has to offer, there is one individual who has dominated here for years, and he's standing by in the pits with our cowboy Paul Small.
Make no mistake, this is Barefoot Bob McCready's house. Here at Brewerton, as long as they've been running big block modifieds, there's only been one track champion, the man who drives a Skinny Drug Syracuse frame, car number 9. Bob, you've been quoted as saying this is probably the truest driver's racetrack there is on the dirt circuit.
Well, it appears to be. I like it. You know, when you're comfortable somewhere, you always feel like it's a driver's racetrack, but it's a tough little track, and the last couple of years the competition's gotten stiffer and stiffer and stiffer, and it's just a tough track.
Well, what's the key to winning races here? You've won 30 of them coming into tonight.
Well, you need a really good race car and some brakes early on in a race, because there are only 35 laps, and we've got guys here that are equal to us in cars and talent. And, if you don't get there first, it's going to be a long night. You might be third. And we've had a lot of thirds and seconds here this year just because we weren't there before the other guys.
Regular distance here is 35 laps. Tonight it's 97. How much will the track change during that time?
It's going to change. It's going to change a lot. The grooves are going to move around. You're going to see guys move from the top to the bottom to the middle. It really moves here, and it's one of those tracks you have to really stay on top of. You have to rely on the pit crew to keep an eye on the other guys where they're running, and an eye on lap times and all those things. It's a complicated race, 100-lapper, to stay competitive through the whole thing.
But you may have more laps on this racetrack than any other driver here.
Well, I got a lot of laps here. I got a lot of laps on 81, but it doesn't make a lot of difference. These guys are all pros, and it's just you're not going to blow them off. We hope to be in there and hope to be competitive and hope to have a shot at it.
Barefoot Bob has 2 wins at Brewerton this year. He's hoping to pull the hat trick tonight.
Well, Gary, Bob is so soft-spoken, but how loudly do these numbers speak?
81 career wins here out of his 250 of his career. 30 of those coming in the last 4 seasons. 5 track championships consecutive for the last 3 years. Very, very fast driver on a great racetrack. The Brewmaster, we call him the Barefoot Wonder, but he's also the Brewmaster.
Well, he's something special. We'll be watching him. He'll be up front in this field of 30 cars for our Skoal Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series event just moments away. Well, a new addition to our Rush Hour Live broadcast is the introduction of our Internet Question of the Week. At the beginning of each telecast, we'll be telling viewers at home where to turn on the Dirt homepage to find a question related to the host track and an upcoming event. Right now, fire up your computer, log on to Dirt Motorsports, www.dirtmotorsports.com. Click on the television selection and find tonight's question of the week. Follow the instructions. We'll announce the winner at the end of tonight's show with the official Rush Hour on Dirt t-shirt awarded to the first person correctly answering our question of the week. And dial us up. Look at this. This is Transaurus, and it is devouring a car.
The Jurassic era here at Brewerton Speedway. A monster fire-breathing Transaurus, I guess is what they call that thing, and he is devouring a red car of some sort.
He's just,
it was a car.
Just gobbling it up. That's the new. How about a little touch of the old? Speedo the Clown, the only traveling speedway clown in the country. He is on hand here this evening. He racks up some 30,000 miles a year, entertaining race fans nationwide. A lot of fun here tonight at Brewerton Speedway, and of course the main event is looming. We are live at Brewerton Speedway, and our coverage of the Bud Shootout 97 will continue on the Dirt Motorsports television network. Rush Hour on Dirt is brought to you in part by Easy Care Extended Service Contracts, Top Oil Engine Treatment, Budweiser, the King of Beers, Midstate Communications, Hoosier Racing Tire, Sunoco A+ Mini Market, and by CarQuest Auto Parts. Welcome to the pros, CarQuest.
Making it to the pros takes a certain level of excellence, the experience to get the job done right, and a reputation for quality. Like top quality Champion spark plugs from CarQuest, Champion gets your engine started fast and running its best. No matter what you drive, Champion keeps you fired up and in the game. So for the best possible performance, install what the pros install. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
Think you're tough? Yeah! Think you're tough?
Yes, sir!
Are you tough? Tough enough to take the Tough Oil Challenge? Only Tough Oil's in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's most efficient lubricant. Tough Oil reduces the surface friction in your car's engine, so you keep going and going. The competition? They're left in their own smoke. Are you up to the Tough Oil Challenge? Nothing's tougher than Tough Oil.
Discover the hidden secrets of America's finest baseball school in a professional instructional videotape. Teaching the mechanics of the Major League Swing features professional scout and instructor Tom Unansky and the same award-winning tested under fire techniques that have produced baseball world's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. Coach Unansky's study and analysis of thousands of baseball's best professional swings has yielded a no less than revolutionary approach to consistent hitting. It's proven, and you'll love its easy-to-understand, step-by-step video training methods. Teaching the mechanics of the Major League Swing benefits players of all ages and ability levels. A valuable addition to any coach's library, too, and it makes a great gift. Thousands have been sold at $39.95, but if you'll call now and use your credit card, you'll pay only $29.95. Phone 1-800-341-6699 for Teaching the Mechanics of the Major League Swing. That's 1-800-341-6699. This is the tape that gets results.
We are live in Central New York, Brewerton Speedway for the Bud Shootout 97 on Rush Hour. Doug Logan along with Gary Montgomery. The Skoal Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series stormed through the French-speaking province of Quebec this week, and Paul Small has all the action.
Monday night, race 8 of the Skoal Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series was contested at Autodrome Drummond in Quebec.
Jumpin' Jack Johnson in the Duchess 87, desperately needing a win to improve his standings in the points, took the lead at the drop of the green and spent the first half of the race fighting with the Camara Slate car number 26 of Dave Camara. Meanwhile, coming from the 26th starting position in the field, the current point leader, Brett Hearn in the red and white Budweiser car number 3. Brett spent the first half of the race chasing his way up to the front of the field, and then in the last third caught and passed Camara for the second spot. He set sail after race leader Jack Johnson, but didn't have enough to catch Jumpin' Jack. It was win number 1 for Jumpin' Jack on the Skoal Bandit Racing Trail over Hearn, Camara, Jimmy Horton, Billy Decker, and David Hebert driving Steve Payne's car. Last night, a packed house at Autodrome Granby, just 10 minutes west of Montreal, for round 9 of the Skoal Bandit Racing Series. They were treated to an incredible contest. Doug Hoffman in the blockbuster video number 1 took the lead on lap 1. But coming through the field quickly, the Hurricane Steve Payne in the Wins Extend number 1, the car he regularly campaigns in Quebec. While Payne was charging through the field, 2 other drivers were again passing a lot of cars. As a matter of fact, Jimmy Horton in the M1 and Danny Johnson in the Freightliner 6 probably passed more cars than anybody this entire swing through Quebec. And how about this performance by Tim McCready in the Jeff Gordon's Power Outlet number 24? Check out the power move on the current point leader, Brett Hearn, in the Budweiser 3 on the outside of turns 1 and 2. It came down to a 4-car race with 15 laps to go. Hoffman heavily pressured by Payne, McCready, and Hearn. Then with 7 laps left, the Hurricane went for the power move in the Payne lane on the outside of the racetrack, making the pass for the lead. The Quebec fans showed their appreciation en masse. Payne held off Hoffman over the final 7 circuits to claim the win at the track he is the defending champion of. He was followed by Hoffman, Tim McCready, Jimmy Horton, then Billy Decker, and Danny Johnson.
Well, Jack Johnson has made Brewerton Speedway one of his home tracks this season, but he obviously felt right at home Monday night in Drummondville. Jumpin' Jack is standing by now with our cowboy Paul Small.
Jumpin' Jack Johnson, a fantastic victory for you at Autodrome Drummond, and I'm sure that one felt real good.
Yeah, it really did feel good. We've been working real hard trying to get this car going, and finally we hit on a little something up there in Canada. Hopefully it sticks with us right now.
Hopefully you can carry that momentum here tonight. After all, this is one of your home racetracks.
Well, we're going to need momentum here tonight. Got a lot of good race cars. We drew a bad starting spot, so it's going to be hard to get up through the pack, I'm sure.
Jumpin' Jack Johnson has been a consistent finisher, but so far, not a winner here, at least not yet, at the D-shaped Dirt Demon, Doug.
Well, it could happen tonight. Let's take a look at the Skoal Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series points after 9 events. We're at the midway point.
Brett Hearn is the leader. He took the lead a couple of weeks ago. Bob McCready second. Danny Johnson, who was the early leader in the series. Jimmy Horton, Jack Johnson, Alan Johnson, who's yet to win, but very strong. Steve Payne, a winner last night. Doug Hoffman, the defending champion of this series. Jeff Hetzler, yet to win. Timmy McCready and Billy Decker are tied for 10th. Tim Fuller rounds out the top 12.
Well, you know, coming off the Independence Day weekend, we had just all kinds of great racing excitement that we enjoyed throughout Central New York, all around the dirt circuit. And, well, let's take a look at the action. Here's Cowboys Racing Roundup.
This year has certainly been a roller coaster ride for Barefoot Bob McCready. Case in point, Sunday at Cayuga County. McCready comes down for a restart in the Kinney Drug Store's number 9 when Steve Payne does a Claude Lemieux and elbows him down into the infield. McCready slides the car to a stop. He's clearly not happy and confronts Payne by driving in front of him on the racetrack. That results in the 2 of them making contact and both of them getting black flag. Serious damage to McCready's car and to his point standing. Now, when the checkers fell, Joe Plosick was the winner, but Alan Johnson was that close when the checker flag came out. Friday night, BlackRock had a prolonged Syracuse qualifier for 358s. The last 20 laps side by side. Todd Burley outside, Dr. J. Danny Johnson on the inside. Dr. J wins the race. Burley gets the guaranteed starting spot for Syracuse.
Roundup.
It's twice nice. Sure is if your name happens to be Jamie Mills in the 30 car. Mills charged through the field Saturday at Delaware International for his 2nd win in a row. And Randy Fortner in the number 4 got the win Saturday at Susky, his first since 1995. Got $5 grand for it, too. Alan Johnson scored another victory at the Land of Legends Saturday night. That closes him up to Joe Plosick and Barefoot Bob in the points race. And Pistol Pete is back, and so is his pack. Pete McNeil has recovered from the surgery he had last fall. He won at Merrittville Saturday night. Rich Rickey Jr., the winner at Lebanon Valley on their high banks, but Fred the Jet still flies atop the point standings there. Can-Am Speedway Saturday night. Jeff Sykes gets his first win of the year in 358 action. Get your upsets right here. Paul Weaver wins Saturday at the Bridgeport Speedway. And the wild child Billy Gray does the wild thing in Victory Lane after his first career modified win at Fonda. You'll flip over these next couple of things. First, Chef Tim McCready delivers the pineapple upside down cake to you. And we have an exclusive proof that dwarf crossing still does exist in the state of Delaware.
Well, we hope you enjoyed a weekly feature on Rush Hour Cowboys Racing Roundup. We're getting set for the Budweiser Shootout 97. Our Rush Hour banner contest continues to grow in popularity at all of our Rush Hour shows. Tonight's winner, the family of race driver Scott Prentice. Congratulations to the Prentice family for this beautiful banner. They're now eligible for the year-end grand prize of $1,000. We'll be right back to the D-shaped Dirt Demon, Brewerton Speedway. This is the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
The two cars touch. Oh, my goodness. 3 wide on a turn 4.
Danny Johnson is second, and the battle rages down the backstretch.
Now McCready goes up over the first. And over.
Kenny Tremont is Mr. Dirt Track USA.
Pandemonium in this victory lane.
And Doug Hoffman is the winner of the Silver Anniversary Phase 300.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
A+ Mini Market, your 24-hour ticket to convenience.
Now every 10-ounce, every 16-ounce, and every 20-ounce cup of Colombian coffee is just 79 cents at participating A+ and A+ Express stores, where one price fits all.
Over 3,000 items. A+ Mini Market, 24-hour convenience. Your store, plus more.
Watch Alexei the Headhunter Lallis in the New England Revolution all season long. Major League Soccer. The stuff kicks.
For me, what I like about soccer is knocking the other team's best player completely out of the game. The intensity level, the tackles, the goals, and the sweat and the sex of it. If I had to choose one place in the world I'd want to be, it would be on a soccer field.
There's so many great things about the game. That's scoring goals and winning games. That's fun.
The revolution of soccer. Experience it on Sports Channel.
My favorite thing about playing soccer is the competition, baby. I live for it.
We are live at Brewerton Speedway, just outside Syracuse, New York, for the Bud Shootout 97 on Rush Hour. Let's take a look at our race analysis as the starting grid is on the front straightaway here at Brewerton. 97 laps of racing. Caution laps will count after 50 laps, but not the last 3. We will finish under green. Purse 30,000, winner's share 6,000. 31 cars will start this race.
Our track, there's our weather. It's 70 degrees, a beautiful day here. Low humidity, winds not really a factor at all. Clear skies, cool temperatures, a beautiful moon, a great night here in Brewerton.
Yeah, we're looking forward to a great night of racing. Now, how about that track description?
Well, it's a 1/3 mile. We talked about it at the front of the show. It's D-shaped with a big curve on the back straightaway. The front straightaway is 300 feet. Then the back straightaway, that curve takes up 60 feet, so you get 360 there. 14 degrees of banking. Very exciting racetrack.
And we're looking forward to it. Now, as for the track condition, let's go down trackside and Paul Small.
This track is definitely living up to its name of the D-shaped Dirt Demon. Look at how soft this clay is here on the front stretch. Now, by comparison, the inside of the corners are hard, but the top is tacky, and there's a killer cushion, a big berm of dirt that's built up on the outside. You couldn't ask for better racing conditions here tonight at Brewerton. Now, next to me, the current point leader on the Skoal Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series, Brett Hernan, the Budweiser number 3. He hasn't done too well, and as a matter of fact, tonight, he's starting clear back in the 19th starting position. But the last time we ran a major event here at Brewerton as part of Super Dirt Week in October, this guy won the race, Doug.
Yeah, well, he's got his work cut out for him. Though I want to know, is that looked like a good pen that Cowboy had stuck in the clay?
Yeah, I just gave it to him, and he's already using it to dig up the clay. I don't know about that.
Well, the cars are firing, and as they pull away, they will be led by a Rush Hour Pace Truck provided by Sam Dell Dodge. Sam Dell Dodge Dakota. Sam Dell Dodge, downtown Syracuse, New York. Let's take a look at that beautiful pace truck. And now, let's key on the starting grid for tonight's Bud Shootout 97. On the pole, the number 33 of veteran Jeff Hetzler, and outside, number 31, Steve Botcher.
Second row on the inside is the Dr. Danny Johnson out of Rochester. Alongside is the Barefoot Wonder from Watertown, Bob McCready.
Behind that power pack row, we have the 47 of Scott Prentice and the 60 of Bill Gill.
Row 4 on the inside, Jaron Springs, New York driver Bobby Barron in the 111. Timmy McCready, the second generation driver, is in number 24. He'll start in position number 8.
Row 5, the winningest driver in the dirt modified circuit, Alan Johnson, and outside him, the defending Skoal champion, Doug Hoffman.
Row 6 on the inside, 48-year-old driver Kenny Brightbill out of Sinking Springs, Pennsylvania, the tabloid graphics car. Billy Decker from Franklin, New York is alongside.
Row 7, Jimmy Phelps and Steve the Hurricane Payne.
Row number 8 on the inside, Jumpin' Jack Johnson out of Duanesburg, and the Duchess overhead doors, number 87. The Camara Slate Expressive, David Camara is alongside.
Out of Rochester, Gil Tagg in the number 32, and from nearby Clay, New York, the 83 of Tommy Sears.
Row 10 on the inside, current point leader Brett the Jet out of Vernon, New Jersey. The Budweiser number 3, Vic Coffey from Leicester, New York is alongside, and the Sweeteners Plus number 32.
Row 11 always in the hunt, the 56 of Pat Ward, and outside the 5 of Jeff Sykes.
Row number 12 on the inside, Gordy Button out of Chittenango, New York. First time he's been in this car all season long. And Frank Cozy from Wind Gap, Pennsylvania in the Grosso Trucking R24s alongside.
Let's go on to row 13, the 27 of Ray Bliss Jr. He won a race here not too long ago, and Sean Dunneth outside row 13, the number 10.
Row number 14 on the inside is Steve Holzheiser. He's from here in Brewerton. Dana Wagner's alongside. They're a pair of regulars here at this racetrack.
All right, inside row 15, driving the number 94, that's Tim McCready's big block, Tim Fuller, who had mechanical problems in the heat. Not enough time to repair that car, so he's driving Tim McCready's number 94. The 115 of Kenny Tremont is outside row 15.
And in the back of the pack, we've got the there's Kenny Tremont. The Roger Phelps is alongside. We had the M1 of Jimmy Horton also in the field.
So that is our starting lineup, and there is that backup of Horton. So yes, we will have 32 cars in the starting lineup here. And well, the white flag is out. We are about half a lap away from going racing here, and look at the huge throng on hand. I'll tell you, we're having great turnouts for these spectacular shows. And now we eye starter and flagger Chip Burdick as the field is into turn 4, heads down the front straightaway. The green flag is out, and the Bud Shootout 97 is on. Hetzler inside, Botcher on the outside. Botcher gets a wheel in front. He has the lead down the backstretch. McCready is in third, bidding for second.
Young Stevie Botcher out of Laheyton, Pennsylvania grabs the lead in car 31, the Zellers mobile car. And then right behind him is that good battle for the number 2 spot. McCready on the outside. Hetzler down on the bottom. McCready has the groove on the outside. He'll take the number 2 spot away from Hetzler as they race down the back straight.
Great driving in massive traffic here at the D-shaped Dirt Demon. Everybody through for lap 1, now through lap 2.
Scotty Prentice taking over the number 4 spot there. You see Doug Hoffman making a move on the outside as he moves around Barron in the 111. Hoffman in the red number 1. That's the battle for the number 9 spot. Here comes Alan Johnson on the inside of the bull bar, car number 12B. So there's all bunched up there running the 9 and 10.
There's a good look. Our speed camera on the front straightaway. Now into turn 1 goes the field. There's Doug Hoffman in the number 1. We're looking at Alan Johnson and Bobby Varon, and you had an indication there how they are immediately 2 and 3 wide here.
We talked at the head of the program how there'd be fast lanes would be changing all night long, right? I don't know if they can figure it out yet, but they're all over this racetrack looking for racing room. There is the battle for the number 8 spot. Here we go back up to the front of the pack. Botcher leads, but McCready is on the move. McCready takes over 2. Botcher in the Zellers Mobile number 31. It's a TO Pro Chassis car. McCready drives a Troyer bus.
Botcher, 35 years of age, running well on the race course. And in that low groove, Bob McCready. But Botcher is your early race leader.
Botcher is a quality assurance manager, graduate of Penn State University, loves the race, and he's taking a little time off here in the middle of the week to find his way up to Brewerton. Love to make all the races, can't do that. But right now, here's a battle for the 6th spot. There's Hoffman on the outside of Scotty Prentice. Prentice goes back to 7. Hoffman comes up to the number 6 spot. The blockbuster video, Troyer bus, Doug Hoffman out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, the 1996 Skoal Racing Series champion.
And we're back to the front of the pack. Botcher in the 31. McCready goes down low. McCready a bit for the lead, can't get it. Botcher, longtime Orange County regular, now a Bridgeport steady competitor, continues to hold that lead. But Bob McCready, Mr. Everything here, the brewmaster, is bidding for the lead.
Yeah, they're bidding for the lead in traffic already. We're only on lap number 9, and these guys have caught the back of the pack. This is going to be a tight race all night long, Doug. We talked about the short track configuration. There's Steve Holzheiser about to go a lap down in car number 88. But Botcher has the preferred line. Again, he can pick and choose his lanes as he works his way through the lap cars. And the car just in front, you saw the 115 of Kenny Tremont, who had a problem, had it as a guaranteed starter. Okay, just in front of the leaders.
Yeah, they're weaving their way through traffic already. We are 11 laps into this race.
And there was a great 3-wide shot going into turn 1. Tremont way up on top, McCready way down on the bottom, and poor Stevie Botcher in the middle.
And McCready may have him. McCready has taken over the lead out of turn 4 down the front straightaway. And Botcher got hung up behind Tremont.
Yeah, that's, again, I think a reflection on home track advantage. And McCready knows his way around. We've got caution on the speedway. The yellow flag is flying. We're on lap number 13. And as you mentioned, the first 50 laps, the caution will not count. And that's about the problem. But McCready is our race leader. We're under yellow, lap number 13.
It looks like we may have, well, I'm looking for a vehicle in turn 4. I don't see a car down there in turn 4. We may have just debris on the track, but we'll check it out as we continue. Yeah, it looks like we might have some debris on the track as we have a yellow flag caution period here at Brewerton Speedway. Some sheet metal on the front stretch.
Yeah, I think that's a belly pan off of one of the cars. Now, that's a problem. The guy loses a belly pan. That'll put mud up into the cockpit of the car, can cause a problem with mud getting in the pedals, mud driver's face or whatever. That could be a problem for whoever lost the belly pan.
Here's a look at Bob McCready, who in '95 won the Skoal season opener right here at Brewerton, then went on to win the series championship. He's got victories in more than 50 different tracks.
And he is the defending champion of this particular race. He's, as you said, Mr. Everything. He's all the championships.
Let's take a look at the pass for the lead. This is where McCready got Botcher, and you see the 115 of Kenny Tremont in the outside groove, and Botcher had to back off the pedal just a little bit, and Bob McCready took over and grabbed the lead. We should point out that McCready started this race outside row 2 last year. He started from the last starting position and won the event.
Master of going faster. Here we have green flag, and he gets to practice again with a clean racetrack now. No lap cars, and they won't be a problem for a number of laps.
And we have a tangle up back into turn number 4. Bliss is involved, and he is stopped on the racetrack, so we have an immediate caution.
Ray Bliss and Dana Wagner got together as they got on the gas coming out of turn number 4, and Ray Bliss, you see all the damage to his car. Well, that did not happen as a result of this incident. That happened in the Consolation earlier, bent up front and rear.
All right, so Ray Bliss, who won here a couple of Fridays ago, is having his trouble here this evening. And I tell you, that car That car needs some major rehauling from a body standpoint. It got dented pretty good. Bob McCready is the leader of our Budweiser Shootout 97. We will continue with our coverage after this timeout. This is the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
Whether your car is Strawberry Pearl Coat, Santa Fe Silver, or Candy Apple Red, a PPG certified collision repair shop uses premium paint and a palette of over 100,000 colors to precisely match your car's color, whether it's champagne metallic, emerald green, or banana yellow. PPG premium paint, the right match for your car.
Look for the local PPG certified body shop in your area.
And the Budweiser IndyCar. Hot enough for you?
Kids. For 1 hour a week, you leave your concrete world of flip phones and faxes and talk to 20 kids about how business works. They will question everything, but those 20 kids will talk to 20 more. So by Saturday, what you said on Thursday could be halfway around their world. You get to make a difference. Could just make the rest of your week pretty dull. That's the new JA, teaching kids how business works.
We are live at Brewerton Speedway for the Bud Shootout 97 on Rush Hour. Doug Logan along with Gary Montgomery. There is the top 10. Bob McCready leads and Botcher is second.
Jeff Hetzler, Danny Johnson, Billy Gill, Doug Hoffman, Alan Johnson, Scotty Prentice, Timmy McCready, and Kenny Brightbill round out the top 10.
Before we go green once again here at Brewerton, let's head down to Cowboy Paul Small.
Let's update you on the Jimmy Horton story. Remember, you saw the M1 at the top of the show do it about a 1.5 gainer, I guess you would say, in the first turn. They dug the backup car out, ran it in the consolation race, and so far, I don't know what they did to that backup car, but they obviously did it right. He's grabbed 13 positions since this race started. Doug, we're going racing.
Isn't that a determined run by Jimmy Horton?
Very, very talented race driver. Bob Faust has equipped Jimmy with some great race cars. They didn't want to destroy one, but that's the way it goes sometimes, and this backup car appears to be A1. Green flag flies. We're back to racing.
13 laps out of 97 scheduled here at Brewerton, and Bob McCready has the lead. Botcher second. Danny Johnson with a bid for second place.
Danny works the bottom of the racetrack. Bodger's up on top, and here comes Alan Johnson down on the bottom of the racetrack. They are 3 wide through 3 and 4 and down the front straightaway. There's Danny on the outside. Brother Alan way down on the bottom, and Botcher loses another spot. Alan in the Bull Bar 12B. Danny in the Freightliner number 6.
So much more momentum for the number 6 of Danny Johnson, the 12B of Alan Johnson. They got around Botcher, no problem at all.
Botcher runs at 4, but now he's being tested by Doug Hoffman in the blockbuster video, car number 1. Hoffman in position number 5, 6 is Hetzler, 7 now is Scotty Prentice as we work at lap number 16. But the leader, and he owns about a 5-6 car length advantage, is Bob McCready.
And you just routinely see the different grooves here and how you can run 3 abreast.
Yeah, this is very, very racy. All over the racetrack, all positions pretty wide, almost everywhere around. Hoffman way up on the outside. The only problem up there is it's a little rough, and if they catch that cushion, the same thing can happen to them that happened to Jimmy Horton in the heat race earlier.
A couple of Pennsylvania drivers right there.
That's the battle for fourth spot. Botcher on the outside, Hoffman on the inside. They're both from near Allentown, New York, Hilton, Pennsylvania, and West. Oh, they made contact, and Botcher gets the short end of the stick.
Well, he really recovered quite well.
He certainly did. Nice young fella, and he got on the gas, but he's going to lose a spot to Hetzler on the outside, and Kenny Brightbill on the bottom. They're both going to get by him, so Botcher is going backwards here too early.
But look at the fellas who are passing him.
Yeah, they've got a lot of experience, and I don't think Botcher's ever raced on this particular racetrack before. He's a veteran, but never here.
Now, his car is owned by Paul Zellers.
Yeah, that's Zellers Mobile, Allentown, Pennsylvania. A longtime sponsor of Doug Hoffman. It's now the Zellers Mobile number 31 of Stevie Botcher out of Hilton, Pennsylvania. 21 laps are in, and the caution flag is flying again.
Yeah, yellow once again here at Brewerton Speedway. Our heat winners, Kenny Brightbill, who you just saw a moment ago in the number 19. Tim McCready with a strong run. The Hurricane, Steve Payne, and Doug Hoffman. The consolation race winner, Pat Ward. The leader in our Bud Shootout 97 is that man, the number 9 of Barefoot Bob McCready, and the yellow flag is for debris once again on the racetrack.
Yeah, there was a piece of sheet metal over on the back straightaway. Actually, there's a second piece of metal that's being recovered by one of our starters up at turn number 1, but the big piece was on the back straight.
All right, we showed earlier how Horton flipped and the racetrack was rough. They tried to smooth it out the best they could. Is it still rough?
It's still rough, but not nearly as bad as it was in the qualifier. So it's rough on the extreme outside, but before they had big ruts down the middle of the racetrack. That's not the situation. They got smooth lanes on the bottom and then maybe 2-3 wide, but then up on the top, it's as you can see, there's a big heavy cushion that's a little bit rough.
Well, let's pick up our leaders. Bob McCready is in first, and Danny Johnson is second. They'll start side by side till the midway point of the race. Row 2 is Alan Johnson and Doug Hoffman. You know, Steve Payne passed Hoffman with 6 laps remaining in the Skoal race last night in Granby, Quebec. Hoffman was so devastated by the fact that he didn't win the race, he didn't even go to victory lane for the traditional top 3 photo. He is really driving a determined race thus far here this evening.
Yeah, he's determined. He is in position number 4 right now. Hetzler rides in 5. Brightbill is in 6. Botcher is in 7. Prentice is in 8. Jack Johnson 9, and rounding out the top 10 is Billy Gill.
If you like side-by-side racing, you've got to love this, dirt fans. Bob McCready takes the green flag. Danny Johnson is up high. Alan Johnson testing him down low. Who's going to win this battle?
The brothers Johnson battling it out where they do all over the Northeast side by side. Their mom and dad are their biggest fans. They're here watching them tonight. Milton, Joyce Johnson watching their boys do what they love to do best. 39-year-old Alan and 37-year-old Danny side by side all the way around the racetrack. Alan on the bottom, Danny up on top, and Doug Hoffman thinking about coming right down the middle. They're all trying to run down McCready in the Kinney Drugstore's number 9.
And we have a yellow out once again. Yellow on the track. And again, it looks like it could be some sort of debris.
Apparently it's debris. And again, we talked about, I was probably too kind. The racetrack is too rough up on the top, and that's what's tearing off sheet metal. They have spoilers on the front, belly pans and so forth, and that's probably what's, in all cases that I've seen, it's been sheet metal that's come off one of the cars.
We are live at the D-shaped Dirt Demon, and it is a bit of a demon here tonight. Brewerton Speedway just outside Syracuse. Our coverage of the Bud Shootout 97 will continue after these messages on Rush Hour.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
We've got a new leader coming out of turn number 4. It's Bob McCready.
It's still Gary Ballou, followed by Dr. Pepper, Tommy Corellis, and Billy Osmer makes the move on the inside as they move down the back straight.
Green flag is out. We're underway.
The Dirt Motorsports Hall of Fame and Classic Car Museum, where memories roar to life.
The great outdoors.
Outdoors RV Superstore, your Fleetwood powerhouse dealer. Over 200 Fleetwood fold-downs, travel trailers, and fifth wheels. Coleman, Mallard, Prowler, Savannah. The best selection on Fleetwood motorhomes. Seasport, Jamboree, Bounder, and Pacero. All built by Fleetwood, the world's largest RV manufacturer. Come to the Great Outdoors RV Superstore, Route 57, Fulton.
Speed, power, passion. Witness the most popular game in the world at Foxborough Stadium with the New England Revolution. Tickets are on sale now for as low as $8 with specials ranging from season tickets to family packs. Find out for yourself why thousands of New Englanders are turning into soccer fanatics. Come see the Revolution and U.S. national team stars Alexi Lalas, Joe Maxmore, and Mike Burns battle for MLS glory. Call 1-800-946-7287 or Ticketmaster and get ready to rev it up with the New England Revolution.
Hoop It Up, the official 3-on-3 basketball tournament of the NBA, is coming to town. Hoop It Up's an outdoor basketball festival that's fun and competitive for players of all ages and abilities. So whether it's playing in the men's, women's, or kids division, or in the older than dirt, Top Gun, or couch potato brackets, Hoop It Up has a division that's just right for you. Get ready to Hoop It Up.
Hoop It Up returns to Boston's Bayside Expo Center July 19th and 20th. Entry forms are available at area Foot Locker stores, the official Hoop It Up registration headquarters.
You want to take a look at some classy-looking clothing? Well, remember, the official supplier of Dirt Motorsports apparel is Bob Hilbert Sportswear. Radio communications provided at rush hour and Dirt Motorsports by Midstate Communications, providing reliable, customized paging service and complete communication systems for race teams and racing fans. Midstate Communications, the official supplier of radio communications for Dirt Motorsports. Back to racing now at Brewerton. And Bob McCready has leaped back out in the front. Danny Johnson is second, and Doug Hoffman is battling Alan Johnson, and he has taken over the third spot.
The outside lane working a little bit better right now, and Hoffman has taken the spot away from Danny. Here comes Hetzler on the outside of Brightbill. There goes my theory about inside and outside, because Brightbill's making the pass on the bottom of the racetrack. So it's a matter of where your car is working best at this particular moment. We're on lap number 25, and Bob McCready leads the parade.
Brightbill had a very, very strong heat race earlier tonight.
Yeah, he did. They had to repair the entire front end of the home-built car after the rush hour crash a couple of weeks ago after he hit Danny at high speed at the Fonda Speedway. So they made repairs, and he's always a threat.
Well, you know, we got a report from the pit of Danny Johnson that he's just able to take that car anywhere he wants to on the racetrack. He'd like to inch it up a little closer to Bob McCready.
Yeah, anywhere he wants to, but he wants to be in the lead, and he's in second, and he's being pushed by or pressured by Doug Hoffman. Hoffman has come from deep in the pack to run in position number 3, and I'd say that his car is working better than anybody else. He has taken over the number 3 spot from Alan Johnson and opened up some separation there.
Now the battle for 7th involves Jeff Hetzler. Well, let's see. Hetzler's now in the number 5 position, but the Brightbill, Jack Johnson, and Steve Botcher trio.
Yeah, Jack Johnson has just taken over 7. Botcher falls to 8. Steve Payne is up to 9, and Billy Gill rounds out the top 10. Up to 12 is Brett Hearn, who started back in position number 19. So Hearn is advancing well through the pack, but probably not quite as quickly as Jimmy Horton, who is just 3 spots behind him. So Horton runs in position number 15. He is just past Tim McCready.
There's Steve Payne in the 7X. He was the winner up at Granby. Autodrome Granby, Quebec, last night.
The Janelle Corporation Advanced Lubricant Special number 7X. The Hurricane Steve Payne out of Waterloo. Now, that's a home track for him. He's from Waterloo, but he races at Granby and Drummondville every Friday and Saturday evening, so he had a home track advantage several hundred miles from home last night. Here's the battle for 5. Down on the bottom is Brightbill, the black number 19. Up on the top in the Smitty's Reclamation number 33 is Jeff Hetzler out of Wallkill, New York.
Hetzler has the high groove, and Brightbill down low.
Jack Johnson even lower in the number 87, the Dutchess overhead doors car.
Have you seen, spinning now out of turn 4 and just trying to gather back in down the front straightaway? We had a car going loose.
That was Tommy Sears, the number 83 that spun, but was able to continue. No caution on the speedway.
There's the battle. Hetzler, Brightbill, and Jack Johnson.
And there's smoke coming from Alan Johnson's number 12B, just in front of him. And into slowing Steve Payne. So Payne has a problem. Alan Johnson has a problem. Alan's car is smoking profusely now down the front straightaway. The caution flag is out as Steve Payne brings his car to a halt and then fires it up. But the bigger problem is with Alan Johnson.
Yes, and he's into the pits. Alan Johnson into the pits. We will pick that up. But right now we're watching Steve the Hurricane Payne, and he also out of Waterloo is headed into the pits. Meanwhile, the number 9 of Bob McCready continues to lead. He is running in lap traffic.
Yeah, that second-generation driver, Sean Dunn, I think car number 10, has just gone a lap down. We're on lap 36, our 5th caution already. Alan Johnson with a motor problem, but the caution came out when Steve Payne slowed on the back straightaway.
So tough news for Alan Johnson as he is in the pits now, and the crew is looking over that 12B machine.
Yeah, he had a problem last night. He blew a water pump in the engine during the hot laps and ran the main, but only after some quick repairs.
Let's go down to the pits. Cowboy Paul Small at Alan Johnson's pit.
I tell you what, it looks like a football huddle right now around the right rear corner of Alan Johnson's Bow Bar Service 12B. The reason is you can see they're working on the top of the shock where the top mount works onto the frame here. Looks like it may have loosened up a little bit, or they're trying to move it back into position. They got a sledgehammer they're taking to it down here in the pit area. Some basic work here, trying to get this car back together so they can get Alan Johnson back out. Apparently, I would think that he hit a clump of clay up there on the outside of the racetrack, and it might have messed up the right rear suspension. The Hurricane Steve Payne, who came in the pit area, he's looking to pull back out onto the racetrack.
All right, well, good work, Cowboy, and we're still under yellow, and remember, the yellow flag laps do not count until we get past 50, and boy, look at Alan. Is he ready to get going? Let's take a look at the replay and see what happened. If we can. Alan, you know, has been so frustrated by engine problems as of late. And look at that. There goes the smoke.
It looked like an engine, but it was apparently just the body sitting down on the tire, and that set up the smoke. And they needed a bigger hammer, that's for sure.
And Alan did not get back out because we are back under green. Alan is a lap down, and we are under green with the restart here at Brewerton Speedway. Steve Payne also still in the pits. He did not get out. And Brett Hearn with a spin in turn 4.
Oh, Hearn got it all crossed up, and somebody hit him, and he's able to pull away, but he lost a lot of valuable ground, and there's something wrong. I think he seems to have slowed, maybe just trying to sort things out. But Hearn lost the handle up at the top between turns 3 and 4, spun down to the bottom, and somebody hit him.
And so our Skoal points leader, the Budweiser number 3, Brett Hearn, is struggling now right at the back of the pack. He trails McCready by half a track right now.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know, that's Cozy. Here's Tommy Sears. There's something wrong with Hearn's car because Sears just wouldn't pass him if we were all right with the Budweiser car.
Well, let's see if Brett can run it out until the next yellow caution flag, or whether he'll be okay.
Oh,
and Camara slows.
That's the break that Hearn needed. The caution flag is out as David Camara, the Slate Express, car 26 out of Poultney, Vermont. Bob Doyle, the crew chief, will make repairs to the Camara car as he heads for the pits. There's McCready, our race leader. But Hearn, with his crew chief, Scott LePage, not Kevin as I talked last week, but Scott LePage will probably get to go to work on the Budweiser car.
All right, well, let's get the latest on the situation with Brett Hearn down in the pits. Cowboy Paul Small.
Brett Hearn in the Budweiser number 3, of course, had that spin on the racetrack a couple of laps ago. Right now you see Dave Camara's number 26 car is pulling around. He has just made a pit stop, but we're waiting to find out if Brett Hearn is going to pull in. His crew watching anxiously at the top of the racetrack. They're spotting from a different location than anybody else. They're on the outside of the first turn, the extreme outside, watching, waiting, and seeing what happens. You can see one of Dave Camara's crew members just held up a big clump of clay over here. And apparently that was the problem with the Camara car. Yeah, they got a clump of clay in the right rear wheel, or it may have come up and did some damage. That has happened a lot of times tonight, Doug. We've been watching from outside the first turn, and the clumps of clay they're throwing up for the cushion are so big you can actually hear them hitting the other race cars as they go around the corner, and that's over the noise of the racing engines.
That's heavy clay, Doug, heavy clay.
Well, Brett Hearn has given no indication of coming into the pits.
No, and time has run out, so if he was going to make a stop, I think he would have done it a lap or so ago.
I'm going to find out what's going on here with Brett Hearn if we can, guys.
All right, so Brett Hearn, thank you very much, Cowboy. So, yes, Brett Hearn continues out there on the track in the Budweiser number 3. See anything there at all, Gary?
No, and apparently there's nothing wrong. I thought the way he was not advancing back after the spin that there was something wrong, but apparently that's not the case.
Yeah, this has been a very long week for these dirt travelers in Quebec. That rain out forced them to stay in Canada an extra night, an extra day, make the overnight haul here, and the crews, the drivers are very, very tired. Remember last week we were talking about 15 races in 18 days, and that's the way it's been. Here's an update on the Brett Hearn situation. Cowboy Paul Small.
And here's what's going on, Doug. We just talked to Scott Legacy, the crew chief on the Brett Hearn Budweiser number 3. He said he had a little contact with Scott in front of his car, got pushed up over the berm. The car is fine, but right now he just doesn't want to push things any. It looks like we're going back to racing. Let's see if Hearn's car really is as solid as he says it is.
All right, we'll check that out. We also want to check out the number 1 of Doug Hoffman, because he is in second place behind Bob McCready, and he has been on a tear.
Yeah, he's using the outside lane beautifully. He's just moved around Danny Johnson. Danny has a problem now because Kenny Brightbill's working the bottom of the racetrack. Brightbill tries to come to the number 3 spot. Jack Johnson is down even lower. 3. Oh, look at that. Brightbill's car went right up in the air. He caught a rut. Didn't lose a lot of ground, but he makes some contact with Hetzler, who's forced off the track, but doesn't lose a lot of spot. We have reports that the Hetzler car has lost a cylinder. Now, they didn't lose it, actually. It's just not working like it ought to. It's still under the hood, believe me, folks. But they've lost a cylinder, and that's a tough break for the Bernie Smith-owned reclamation team.
Jack Johnson is now in 4th place in the number 87. Jack Johnson in 4th, and he's battling Danny Johnson for the 3rd position.
Yeah, that just shows how the racetrack is so raceable wherever your car works. A lot of the passing has been going on up on top, but Jack Johnson is down on the bottom, a basement dweller all the way around the racetrack, and he's able to pick up some spots. He now goes to the inside and passes Danny Johnson, but Danny fights back on the outside. Great side-by-side racing. Brightbill runs back in the number 5 spot. We're working lap number 44 right now.
Early in the show, Cowboy, we have a yellow flag coming out again. Early in the show, Cowboy Paul Small asked Bob McCready about how the track would change as we go along. We're still seeing multiple grooves.
Absolutely, and they're going to chase it all night long, and Bob had it exactly right, and you got to go where the other guy isn't. That's part of the deal as well. This caution comes out as Gilly Tegg has a problem with the Daryl Simmons-owned Hooters Restaurant number 32. He heads for the garage area.
All right, we are live at Brewerton Speedway outside Syracuse, and our coverage of the Bud Shootout 97 on Rush Hour will continue after these messages. This is the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
Sportswear Direct presents their summer collection, featuring ladies' sleeveless downs embroidered with the Dirt logo. Hot off the press, it's the Dirt Modified Mudslide Tee for men and women, available in all sizes. TV fans, the Rush Hour tees are in. Don't wait on these, they're going fast. And don't forget about your favorite driver tees, too. Place any order over $25 and receive a free Rush Hour hat.
Hi, I'm Bobby Labonte. On race day, we have a team of mechanics to keep our car running. Unfortunately, I can't get all these guys to follow me around when I drive my personal car. That's why I have an Easy Care vehicle service contract. It covers all major repairs on my car from the engine to the tires. Easy Care is the best service contract you can get. So make sure you ask your dealer for Easy Care protection for your car or truck.
bounce and toss your tray tables. Next week, we're headed to the nasty track of the North, Can-Am Speedway on the U.S.-Canadian border, where the track is fast, the action is intense, and incredible. Last year, an epic battle at the front of the field. How tacky was the racetrack? Hey, how's this for tacky? It produced a popular win for a local hero. And next week, we head back to the border. It's the Summer Sizzler from Can-Am Speedway. Next week on Rush Hour.
And we're looking forward to it as we take a look at the Rush Hour Pace Truck provided by Sam Dell Dodge, downtown Syracuse, New York. Let's go down to the pits for an update, Cowboy Paul Small.
I tell you what, when a dirt modified driver doesn't make the race, as was the case for Kenny Tremont tonight, you never know when he might be able to pick up for the next time he comes here. So he's sitting down here on the edge of the wall in the pit area watching what's going on. Now here's what is going on the racetrack. Jack Johnson is one of the few drivers in the Duchess 87 right now who is running on the bottom of the speedway. He says he's going to let the racetrack come to him. He's confident the car will work on the bottom. Bob McCready has said absolutely nothing to Hugh Naylor, his crew chief, except, how am I doing, guys? And of course their response is good. And Doug Hoffman says his car is best right now on the top, but the Blockbuster video #1 has McCready alongside of him, and McCready's running the top as well. So we got a little chess match going on here as we go back to green, guys.
Let's see who wins out of turn 4. Bob McCready has the nose in front. He's got the lead. Danny Johnson tries Hoffman down low, and Jack Johnson tries him. In fact, it was Danny Johnson out high and Jack Johnson down low. Danny got him.
Danny takes over the #2 spot. Jack Johnson continues to work the bottom of the racetrack better than anybody else here at this point in the race. But they still all chase Bob McCready, who owns about a 3-car length advantage over Danny Johnson as they enter turn 1. But as they leave turn 1, he stretches it out to 3 cars again. Hoffman rides in the #3 spot. Jack Johnson is 4. Jeff Hetzler on that 7-cylinder car is in 5. Back in 6 is Kenny Brightbill. 7 is Botcher. 8 is the 47 Apprentice. 9 is Barron. And rounding out the top 10 is Air Horton. Jimmy Horton has come from the back of the pack to run in position #10.
Good battle right now for 3rd place, Doug Hoffman and Jack Johnson. Jack, of course, his victory at Drummond was his first Skoal win since 1994.
It's a long time to not win a Skoal race, and jumping Jack Johnson and feeling racy. He's 52 years old. I got to get that in every week to talk for us old timers. We talked to Jack earlier tonight. He doesn't mind at all. His son's racing this year and doing a great job in a sportsman car. Jack runs in position #4 now. He continues to work the bottom of the racetrack.
Look at Tim Fuller.
And there's Bobby Barron. We were just talking about Bobby Barron. He had a good run going, and now the Fred Tanner #111 has a collapsed front end, and Barron is off the racetrack in turn #3.
Barron, who ran 4th last week at Rolling Wheels, having a little touch of misfortune here this evening at Brewerton.
Bobby Barron had a problem, misfortune in Fonda a couple weeks ago. He was running in the top 10 with 3 laps to go, and the brake rotor broke and he pulled out of the race.
Back to the front of the pack when they come around again. You see McCready and Danny Johnson and Doug Hoffman, Jack Johnson, Kenny Brightbill, the top 5 runners in this race.
Yeah, now we just touched on it as we had the accident, but running 11th is the 94. Different driver in that car. That is the Tim Fuller driving the Tim McCready car. Started in the back of the pack when Fuller's own #19 developed mechanical problems. Couldn't start the race. Timmy McCready brought his backup car. This is the car that Tim himself owns. He loaned it to his Watertown neighbor, and he's come from the back of the pack. They're running, they're saying #9 spot. So yeah, with Barron out, he's running 9.
Yeah, in fact, he just passed Tim McCready.
Yeah, that's not the way it's supposed to work at all.
Here's a look at the replay, and here's how Barron got into his difficulty. Just a squeeze play. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, they ran out of room, and he goes slide in the top of the racetrack. 3 wide.
Sometimes.
Yeah, 3 wide. 3 wide. They only used 2.5 lanes to do it that time. Bobby Barron, what a story this kid is. He's out of Sharon Springs, New York. He's in his late 20s. Didn't have much of a team going into last year. Then he got a ride that pulled it over the winter. Fred Tanner picked him up at the beginning of the season. They've had a good season, but they haven't won any races yet. But that'll come to him sometime because he's a very, very talented driver. Fred Tanner put some great equipment under him.
There's a look at Tim Fuller in the number 94. Well, production support for Rush Hour on Dirt is provided by Access Rentals in Syracuse and Albany, New York, one of the country's largest suppliers of aerial lifts. They extend every effort to get your job done. Access Rentals. And special thanks to Eric Pittman and Tim Kroll and all the fine folks at Access Rentals in East Syracuse. Thank you so much. And how about this Rush Hour Live T-shirt? Get your Tour Tee for just $13. Call 1-800-979-DIRT and have your Visa or MasterCard handy. These are beautiful shirts, and we see them all over here at Brewerton Speedway. Very, very colorful, very, very exciting. Let's go down now to Cowboy Paul Small. Cowboy, what do you have for us?
Well, it's a development on the Freightliner car number 6 of Danny Johnson. Just before that yellow flag flew, Danny lost the rear brakes on the car. Now, they do have the ability to shut them off inside the car, so Danny's running right now without rear brakes on the Freightliner number 6. Brett Hearn says he's stuck in a log jam at the back of the field. He needs things to thin out a little bit so he can move back up as we go back to green.
Yes, we are going green, and Bob McCready has the lead on the single file restart past the midway point of this race. Danny Johnson is second. Then it's Doug Hoffman, Jack Johnson, and Hetzler is battling with Bright Bill for the number 5 spot.
That's a great side-by-side duel for position number 5. Hetzler on the outside, Bright Bill down on the bottom of the racetrack.
And Horton is moving up.
He continues to advance. He's now taken over the number 7 spot. Jimmy Horton from the back of the pack in a backup car. What a story here. Air Horton out of White House Station, New Jersey. Black M1 B&F General Machine car owned by Bob and Michelle Faust.
He flipped his primary car in the heat race. Started from the back of the pack, and he is flying now, looking to take over that 6th spot. And he looks like he's going to be successful.
Yeah, he got it. As Hetzler went a little too hard, got him over the cushion, and he'll pick up the spot as they race off into turn 1.
52 laps in of our 97-lapper Bud Shootout 97. This battle for 5th spot now.
Yeah, you can't take your eyes off of this kid Horton because he just continues to run to the head of the pack. Turned 41 years old last week and really running here as he runs down or tries to run down Kenny Brightbill. Brightbill on the outside, the Ray Carroll-owned Tabloid Graphics number 19. Down on the bottom is Jimmy Horton, and that is the battle for position number 5.
Now remember, Horton finished 4th at Drummond, and then Granby, both Quebec races, finished 4th place, and now he is bidding for number 5 here, position number 5 after starting all the way in the back of the pack, position number 32.
There's some doubt if he'd even be able to get the backup car ready, but just as we speak, there's a problem, and Jimmy Horton lost some ground in turn 1.
Well, it looked like he broke, but then all of a sudden he stepped back on it.
He lost several spots, but now the car is moving, but not like it was before.
No. So he's struggling now in turn 1. Hetzler got by him.
Scotty Prentice goes by as well. He now runs in position number 8. But up front, it is Bob McCready.
I'll tell you, Kevin Kovac here in the booth says that he might have touched one of those tires inside the turn and got his front end a little out of alignment. Looks like his handling is going away a bit.
Well, he was running the bottom of the racetrack, and it is entirely possible. And Kevin, he certainly keeps track of things, so he probably has it right.
Yeah, that's the official report now. Horton says he clipped one of the inside tires there inside the turns, and he's struggling now on the racetrack.
How low can you go? Well, that was a little too low for Jimmy Horton. As here comes that 94 again, the yellow and white 94 Timmy Fuller. Here we'll get a shot of Horton way down on the bottom, and there you see it. Just touched it, but that was enough to knock the front out of alignment. There we thought he was going to stop, but then he keeps going.
So he's out there and he's battling for position, but struggling nonetheless. He's got time to recoup a bit. 61 laps in, we have 97. Battle for 8th place.
That's Scott Prentice, second-generation driver out of Central Square, New York, and the Benwood Auto Parts Troyer Bus 47. His family won the banner contest earlier tonight. So Scotty Prentice trying to run down and around Jimmy Horton.
He has an aside. Aren't those banners something else?
They certainly are, and every week they get better and better, and it's all building up to $1,000 that goes to the winner at Super Dirt Week.
Bob McCready, as you often do, get into traffic very, very early. He has got the lead in traffic, and look at Danny Johnson closing in on the barefooted wonder.
Danny has taken advantage of this situation with McCready in traffic and is right there trying to capitalize on any mistake that McCready might make or any lane that might not be there when McCready got there as they move around. Tommy Sears, next to go down will be Sean Dunnett in the car number 10. Sears on the bottom in the yellow 83. Sean Dunnett in the purple number 10. Remember, Danny Johnson has no rear brakes. He runs the outside of the racetrack where he doesn't have to touch the brakes as much up there. Hopefully not at all, because two-wheel brakes does not work like four-wheel brakes.
Doug Hoffman continues to run third and Jack Johnson fourth. That's the top four. Right now, Brightville is fifth.
Horton is back to sixth. Running seventh is Hetzler. Eighth is the 31 of Botcher. Then 9 is the 47 Apprentice. And rounding out the top 10 is Fuller at 94.
Bob McCready cuts down a little bit low as he gets a little bit of a respite from the lap of traffic and has put about a car length on Danny Johnson over the last lap. But boy, Danny's right on him.
Danny is using the outside lane beautifully. McCready comes to the bottom and will hold the lead as they complete lap number 68. 68 laps complete in this 97-lap contest.
Danny Johnson battling with Doug Hoffman. Danny Johnson has finished in the top 5 of Skoal points more times than any other driver. 12 times during his career. That's one more than Brett Hearn. He's always a player.
Professional, the ultimate professional, and you can see there the top 3 cars showing in the screen. McCready the leader. Danny Johnson runs second. Doug Hoffman is in 3, and 4 is Jack Johnson. Hoffman way up on the top. Now they've worked the berm way to the top of the racetrack. They're about to...
Come on! Now let me ask you this, because we talked about how the track might change throughout the course of the race. How about the tire wear right about now, 70 laps in?
I don't think tire wear is a problem. This track is so tacky, such nice clay here, that the only tire problem would be if they tore the tire off the rim. So I don't think tire wear itself is a problem, but of course that's easy for me to say. I'm up here watching.
1, 2, and 3, McCready, Danny Johnson, and Doug Hoffman. Remember last year, Doug Hoffman led this race until McCready passed him for the victory in the final moments of the race. There's a look at the number 1 of Doug Hoffman. Didn't get much sleep this morning. Didn't get to sleep until 5 o'clock in the morning. His hauler had fuel filter problems, so he could only drive at 15 miles an hour after the race. Took him 5. Hey, McCready's up high. And look at this.
Yeah, Danny Johnson and McCready got together. They're together again, and Jack Johnson and Hoffman have both moved by. Oh dear, there's a problem for McCready and Danny Johnson. Not a good deal.
So a dramatic turn of events. Doug Hoffman has taken over the lead of this race. Jack Johnson second, Danny Johnson third, and McCready is fifth behind Brightville.
Yeah, so they've all slid by. Now, Danny Johnson and Bob McCready got together. We didn't see how that actually got started, but they definitely made contact up on the top of turn number 1.
And then they made contact again. So at least two touches between Danny Johnson and Bob McCready.
And you can bet that the blood is boiling in the number 9 right now, because Bob McCready doesn't like to lose, and he doesn't like to lose after getting bumped for sure. So he's a little hot, real hot right now. Changes the complexion of the race a whole bunch, because as you mentioned, the man running third is now running first. Doug Hoffman, the blockbuster video car, he has a problem negotiating the turn as he gets behind the Jeff Sykes lap car.
So there is your leader, Doug Hoffman, who had that 3.5-hour trip last night from Granby down here to Central New York. Last 5 hours, Danny Johnson running in the number 6 car.
Ray Bramble, Freightliner of Newburgh, trucks car number 6, Danny Johnson. We've got 20 laps to go, 20 to go. And Danny runs in position number 3, about 3 car lengths behind Jack Johnson, who runs it. Oh, Jack Johnson is in trouble. The second place car, Jack Johnson, slows here on the front straightaway. Broken axle last night, late in the race, could have won that one. He was running third, but was contending for the lead. He's out of it here tonight on lap number 79.
Right into the pits. A fast right turn for Jack Johnson. What a pity.
Danny Johnson was so close they could have made, I think they did make contact, but it wasn't a problem. Danny now takes over 2. Brightville runs in 3. McCready is in 4. Back in 5 is Horton. 6 now is the 94 of Fuller. 7 would be Hearn. That's the first time Colin Hearn's name in the top 10. He runs at 7. Back at 8 is Hetzler. 9 is Scotty Prentice. And rounding out the top 10 is Timmy McCready, the Jeff Gordon Power Outlet, number 24. All that on lap number 81.
Now Danny Johnson sets his, there's Bob McCready. Danny Johnson setting his sights on Doug Hoffman. McCready's running 4th.
McKinney Drugstore, Syracuse Frame Service, FX Cabrera, Troyer Bus.
This is the contact, the incident that dramatically changed this race. McCready goes out high. Danny Johnson gave him a little bump, knocked him over the berm. And there's the tie-up, and we have
Doug Hoffman in trouble on the back straightaway. A flat right rear tire on Doug Hoffman's blockbuster video car, and the leader is in trouble. Doug Hoffman's bad luck continues.
So just as we're taking a look at what happened to McCready and Danny Johnson, now Doug Hoffman, the race leader, is around the track. He's going to try to save a lap if he possibly can and get into the pits.
Yeah.
Real fast.
Yeah, but it won't work. I don't think they could change the tire without losing a lap. That would be a real credit if they could possibly do that. He's got a talented crew, but I don't know if they can do it that quickly.
All right, Doug Hoffman headed into the pits with a flat right rear tire, and we're headed for a break. We're live at Brewerton Speedway, and our coverage of the Bud Shootout 97 continues after these messages.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
If you're filling your prescription, worrying about what you should take with what and when you should take it and how it will affect you, maybe you're going to the wrong place. So break out of there and come to Phase Drugs, where the pharmacy is our business. Our pharmacists are always there to answer questions on dosage, drug interaction, insurance, and more. And AccuFax lets you keep the Phase pharmacist advice at your side night or day. It's a major breakthrough in making prescriptions easy.
Kenny Bernstein's Budweiser King, the 1996 Top Fuel champion. Congratulations. We salute you.
An angry man takes to the street again to take it back from pushers and gangs and make it safe for his 4-year-old. Whose side are you on? An after-school program that develops children's artistic skills is about to lose its funding. The alternative? A spray can. Whose side are you on? A mother works 2 jobs so she can raise her kids in a decent neighborhood. Now she must face the new guy on the block, the one dealing drugs. Whose side are you on? A battle is raging. Parents all across America are struggling to protect their children. Call us. We know hundreds of ways you can take their side and help. We're fighting for the children. Whose side are you on?
Back at Brewerton Speedway, there's the number 1 of Doug Hoffman. He's back out on the lead lap. Let's go down to the pits and Paul Small.
I tell you what, you want to see what happens when a tire explodes when it's going about 80 miles an hour. Here's a classic example. This is the Hoosier tire that came off Doug Hoffman's car. They're not exactly sure how this tire went flat, but it looks like on the other side there's a puncture, so we may have picked up something on the racetrack. But look at all this damage. These are the cords, the inside of the tire, the tread. As you can see here, has been completely ripped off the casing. This tire is just shredded. Terrible luck for Doug Hoffman in the blockbuster video number 1 to be running up front and to literally explode a Hoosier racing tire. We're going back to green.
All right, and we understand that Doug Hoffman is officially 1 lap down back to green, and now it is Danny Johnson who is the leader of this race. Kenny Brightville in the black number 19 is in second. And McCready now third.
Bob McCready takes over 3. Jimmy Horton is in 4. Running 5 is Tim Fuller. But what a story on Kenny Brightville, the tabloid graphics car. But here comes McCready working the bottom. Now we know he doesn't want to run down there, but the top is full of Danny and the 19 of Brightville, so he's got to go to the bottom, and he'll make, I don't know, they're side by side as they come to the line.
92 laps. 92 laps. Danny Johnson, Kenny Brightville, Bob McCready. Danny Johnson, about a week ago, led the Skoal points, but some 4 runs dropped him down to 3rd. He's looking to lead back up very much into contention.
He's not worried about points right now. He's just worried about holding on to winning this race. He's got about a 3-car length advantage over Brightville and McCready.
So Danny Johnson out of turn 4 down the front straightaway. Chip Burdick reaching back for that white flag. It won't be long.
There are 3 laps to go right now, just shy of 3 laps. They work down the back straightaway with 2.5 to go.
And things sorting out just a little bit now with Danny Johnson leading by about 4 or 5 car lengths. Brightville is second, and McCready a bit of a distant third. We have 2 laps remaining.
Brightville way up on top. McCready continues to run the bottom. Trying to run down Danny Johnson, but right now Danny has the advantage as they come down to the white flag. A 1/3 of a mile to go, and $6,000 will be Danny Johnson's.
All right, Danny Johnson has the lead smoothly into turn 2. Now down the backstretch. Brightville a comfortable second. Bob McCready trying to make some hay. He's diving hard into turn 3, but Danny Johnson takes the checkered flag. He is the winner of the Bud Shootout 97. Brightville second and McCready third.
Horton is 4, Fuller is 5, Hurd gets 6, Timmy McCready is 7, 8 will be the 47 of Scott Prentice, 9 is the 33 of Hetzler, and rounding out the top 10 will be the 31. That is Steve Botcher out of Laheyton, Pennsylvania. 37-year-old full-time racer Danny Johnson in the Ray Bramall Freightliner of Newburgh. Troyer Bus, a precision-built big block Chevrolet, powers the car.
And Danny Johnson has that checkered flag still flashing in his eyes. A great win for Danny Johnson. There was contact earlier with Bob McCready, but it looked like Bob actually was losing it in turn 1 before that contact.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Doug. I had talked about Danny and the contact that was involved, but obviously from the replay, McCready got up on the berm and into the berm, that heavy clay, and it about stopped the car, and so that was the reason for the altercation between McCready and Danny Johnson.
Danny Johnson has his 3rd Skoal win of the year. That's more than anybody else, and the 41st of his career on the Skoal circuit. And so Danny Johnson in the number 6, wearing a winning smile as he takes the Bud Shootout 97. McCready led most of the way, but it was Danny Johnson who wrestled it away.
Daring Dan, the stock car man.
Let's go down to Victory Lane. Cowboy Paul Small.
A very happy Danny Johnson down here in the Freightliner car number 6. Danny, that was truly an amazing performance tonight.
Yeah, it really was for me. I got to thank the crew for the the Troyer support team for getting the car dialed in for me just for the feature, and I thank Charlie and all the guys on the car for helping it work. And I want to say hello to the kids at home and all the family.
Tell me about that incident up there into turns 1 and 2 when you were trying to get under Bob McCready.
Yeah, well, the lap car just didn't move down, and Bob got on the brakes a little hard, and I was having trouble with my brakes. I just couldn't stop in time. I got into him, got him sideways, and you've seen the rest.
Those brakes, you're running practically half of the race without brakes on the back end of the car. How tough is one of these cars to drive when you've only got 2 sets of working brakes instead of the full 4 in all 4 corners?
Well, luckily we're up front, so we didn't, use the brakes a whole lot. But yeah, it makes a big difference, and we're real fortunate to, get as lucky as we did to have the problems we have and still get in victory lane.
Congratulations, fantastic run here tonight, Danny.
Thank you very much. Our pleasure.
Dr. J, otherwise known as Daring Dan, the stock car man, dared to battle with Barefoot Bob and scores the win tonight at the Bud Shootout. Incredible, Doug.
All right, well, thank you very much. Very happy crew there surrounding Danny Johnson now as we take a look at Bob McCready and Kenny Brightville going over the events of the evening. The Bud Shootout 97 goes to that number 6 on the inside, Danny Johnson. Our coverage will continue after these messages on the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
collection, featuring ladies' sleeveless downs embroidered with the Dirt logo. Hot off the press, it's the Dirt Modified Mudslide Tee for men and women, available in all sizes. TV fans, the Rush Hour tees are in. Don't wait on these, they're going fast. And don't forget about your favorite driver tees, too. Place any order over $25 and receive a free Rush Hour hat.
Think you're tough?
Yeah!
Think you're tough?
Yes, sir!
Are you tough? Tough enough to take the Tough Oil Challenge? Only Tough Oil's in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's most efficient lubricant. Tough Oil reduces the surface friction in your car's engine so you keep going and going. The competition? They're left in their own smoke. Are you up to the Tough Oil Challenge? Nothing's tougher than Tough Oil.
Watch Alexi the Headhunter Lallis in the New England Revolution all season long. Major League Soccer. The stuff kicks.
Speed, power, passion. Witness the most popular game in the world at Foxborough Stadium with the New England Revolution. Tickets are on sale now for as low as $8 with specials ranging from season tickets to family packs. Find out for yourself why thousands of New Englanders are turning into soccer fanatics. Come see the Revolution and U.S. national team stars Alexi Lallis, Joe Maxmore, and Mike Burns battle for MLS glory. Call 1-800-946-7287 or Ticketmaster and get ready to rev it up with the New England Revolution.
Do you have your tickets for Super Dirt Week 26, October 7th to the 12th at the New York State Fairgrounds? Look at this, Sunday reserve tickets, second and third elevation, just $50. For ticket information, call 315-834-6606. Don't miss Super Dirt Week. All right, how about our internet question of the week? Here at Brewerton Speedway, we have a winner. And let's take a look. Brewerton Speedway held its first Super Dirt Series event in 1973. Who was the winner? Well, the answer is...
Will Cagle, Wiley Will, out of Tampa, Florida.
And as for our trivia winner, well, congratulations, Mike, out of Lake George, New York. Make sure you check us out on www.dirtmotorsports.com. You know, since the beginning of the year, we have had over 1 million inquiries to our Dirt Motorsports worldwide web page. Isn't that wonderful? Let's take a look at the top 18 finishers of tonight's Bud Shootout 97.
Daring Dan, the stock car man, over Kenny Brightbill, Bob McCready, and from the back of the pack, Jimmy Horton, and also from the back of the pack, Tim Fuller in the backup, Tim McCready car. Brett Hearn, the point leader, still leads. He finishes in position number 6.
Tim McCready 7th, Scott Prentice 8th, Steve Botcher was 9th, and Jeff Hetzler, Pat Ward, and Vic Coffey the top 12.
13 through 18, Billy Decker, Jeff Sykes, the number 5, Gil Tate Jr. in the Hooters car. David Camara, the Slate Express, comes home in 16. Jimmy Phelps and Doug Hoffman, who was leading when he blew a tire with just a few laps to go, finishes in the number 18 spot.
Well, racing veteran Kenny Brightbill started inside row 6. He finished second behind Danny Johnson. He's standing by now with Cowboy Paul Small.
Kenny, when you got out of this race car, you looked like you had just been through maybe the Boston Marathon or one of those triathlon things they do in Hawaii.
Well, the track was pretty smooth, but had a few rough spots, and you had to drive the hell out of the car to get anywhere tonight, so and lay on the cushion a little bit now and then. I tried the bottom for a long time, but we didn't seem to be getting anywhere, so I moved up top, and I just got a few spots up there, and then a couple guys got tangled, and that moved us up into second.
Yeah, it seemed like it wasn't until the end of the race that traffic actually started to thin out a little bit, where you could get through the lap cars without feeling like you were in the middle of rush hour.
Well, yeah, they thinned out a little bit more, but it was a little tough. You only had one groove like the whole time, even if at the end there it was like the faster groove was on the top the way it seemed, and we did the best we could. And I'd like to thank my sponsors, IMI, the International Masonry Institute, and Tabloid Graphics for helping sponsor us, and the crew for doing a hell of a job.
You know, it must feel good to come up here in a territory you're not exactly familiar with and finish second in a race like this.
Well, we come here, I said we're going to be lucky to win tonight because this ain't the regular track, and this is about, you know, I think the third time in my life that I was here. One time in '74 and one time 3 years ago, and we didn't have too good of luck that time, and we just got lucky tonight.
I guess maybe third time is the charm for Kenny Brightbill, guys.
Well, I'll tell you, he's something special.
He certainly is, and he has not run the entire series. He was 6th in our opener at Susquehanna. He was the winner at Bridgeport the second week. He was 3rd at Lernerville, had a problem at Fonda, was involved in that multi-car crash to finish 21. So this is his 5th race in the series, event number 10.
To the victor go the spoils. There is a happy Danny Johnson, and why not, the winner of tonight's Bud Shootout at Brewerton Speedway. And what a beautiful night we're enjoying here in upstate and central New York. Here's a look at some upcoming races on the dirt circuit.
Level of excellence, the experience to get the job done right, and a reputation for quality. Like top quality CarQuest shocks and struts, professional technicians choose CarQuest gas charged shocks and struts because they can be confident they're installing the best ride around. So for the best possible performance, install what the pros install. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
The two cars touch. Oh my goodness, 3 wide out of turn 4.
Danny Johnson is second, and the battle rages down the backstretch.
Now McCready goes up over the berth. It goes over.
Kenny Tremont is Mr. Dirt Track USA. Pandemonium in this victory lane, and Doug Hoffman is the winner of the Silver Anniversary Phase 300.
Rush hour on Dirt.
In America, you are not required to offer food to the hungry or shelter to the homeless. There is no ordinance forcing you to visit the lonely. In fact, nowhere in the Constitution does it say you have to provide anything for anybody. Thank you for all you've given. Imagine what more could do.
Rush Hour on Dirt has been brought to you in part by Easy Care Extended Service Contracts, Up Oil Engine Treatment, Budweiser, the King of Beer, Bob Hilbert Sportswear, Midstate Communications, Hoosier Racing Tires, Sunoco A+ Mini Markets, and by CarQuest Auto Parts. Welcome to the pros, CarQuest. Danny Johnson, the winner of the Bud Shootout 97, finishing third. Barefoot Bob McCready. He's down there with Paul Small. Paul?
Contest. You led most of this contest until that incident in turn 1. What happened up there?
I just had to lift for the lap car. You know, he wouldn't give me a groove on the outside, so I had to stay tight to him, and he just stayed out a little late. And brake getting in, I had to brake behind him, and Danny was right on me. Couldn't, you know, it was just racing. It was one of those deals, you know. What are you going to do?
Still come home with the third place finish, though.
Yeah, well, you know, we're disappointed with that. We're sorry for our sponsors, you know, Kenny Drugstore, Syracuse Frame Service, and FX Repair Car Companies. Really disappointed for them, but and the crew and everybody else. But hey, we tried.
Barefoot Bob McCready, you can bet he'll be back here tomorrow night for the regular Friday night show, looking to add win number 3 to his list.
All right, thank you very much, Paul. Unofficially, Brett Hearn leads the point series, and Bob McCready second, Danny Johnson third, Jimmy Horton fourth, but it's mighty, mighty close.
Certainly is a 30-point separation, those top 4.
All right, the winner of our Bud Shootout 97 is Danny Johnson, Dr. J. Thanks for all the statistical help in the booth to Tom Skabinski and Kevin Kovac. Next week, we'll be at the nasty track of the North, Can-Am Speedway in Lafargeville, New York, for the FX Caprara Car Company Summer Sizzler. For Gary Montgomery, Paul Small, the entire Rush Hour on Dirt crew, this is Doug Logan saying thank you for joining us, and so long for now.